Greetings everyone, we will continue our discussion on information retrieval systems. In the previous session we have started about the stemming algorithms and we have looked about the various stemming algorithms. In this session we will be looking about the last part of your affix removal which you have started in the previous session, and we will be looking about the experimental evaluation of your various stemming algorithms and how the stemming can be used to compress your inverted files. How the stemming process will be used to compress the actual inverted files. So in the last session we have started about the affix removal, which is mainly about removal of your largest prefixes or suffixes present in your complete word. Okay, so in order to implement that particular affix removal, you are having the Porter's algorithm. So the Porter's algorithm is having a set of rules. These rules will be divided into steps. The rules in a step are to be executed or examined in sequence, and only one rule from a step will be applied, and the longest possible suffix is always removed because of the ordering of the rules within a step. Okay, we will be having a set of rules and all the rules will be present based upon these steps, and a word or the term has to go through these steps, and at a step only one rule will be applied. Okay, when the particular word is going through this process, the longest suffix will be removed based upon the particular word rules. Okay, so what will happen is we will be having this algorithm. The Porter's algorithm will be present in this manner, where you are having a sequence of steps, step 1A, step 1B. Okay, so as a part of step 1B, you are having step 1B1. Okay, step 1C, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 4A and step 5A and step 5B. What is the meaning here is at a step only one rule will be implemented. Okay, each step will be having large number of rules. Okay, so at a step only one rule will be implemented and your word has to go through these steps. Why? Because the initial thing will be having a word, later those words will be replaced by stems. So the stems has to go through these steps based upon the rules which you are going to apply at each step. Okay, based upon the rules which you are going to apply at each step, one part of the suffix will be removed, or your affix will be removed, as the longest possible characters which can be removed from your word will be replaced. Okay, that is the thing here. So at each step we will be having a set of rules, that is step 1A rule. So you will be having a table in this manner for each and every step. So for 1A rules we will be having this. So initially we don't have conditions on the type of words you are having or the stems you are having. You have already seen your Porter's algorithm will be having conditions on your stems, conditions on your suffixes and conditions on your rules. Okay, so there is no conditions on your stem at the initial stage. So we will be having only conditions on the suffixes. If your word ends with this suffix, it will be replaced by this suffix. Okay, so if your word ends with IES, it will be replaced with I. Okay, so if it ends with TIES, it will be replaced by TIE. In the similar manner, if it ends with SS, it will be replaced by SS. So caresses will be replaced by caresses. And if it ends with S, it will be replaced by none. So this is how. So if this rule is applied, this will not be applied. If this rule is applied, this will not be applied. So only one rule will be applied on the word at each step. Okay, so these are the rules present for your step A, where you are trying to replace your suffixes with one of the reasonable suffix. In a similar manner, we will be having 1B rules. In 1B rules, we are having conditions on your stem. So the conditions on your stem is if your M value is greater than 0, you already looked at what is M value, that is the vowel consonant combinations. So if your vowel value contains your more than one M value, at that time, if the suffix is EED or your word is ending with EED, it will be replaced with E. So in this word, that is in the feed word, you will be having one M value, that is ED. Okay, this is M value 1, okay, at that time, and it is ending with EED word, and it is replaced by EE. Okay, it is not feed, it should be replaced with feed. Okay, in a similar manner, if your particular word contains or stem contains vowel at any place in your word, then this is the condition on the stem, and that particular word is having ED at the end, it should be replaced with null. That is, plastered is replaced with plaster, bled with replaced with bled. Okay, so these are the various examples which will be performed at each and every step. Okay, so we'll be having these words, and we have to take the stems, and we have to consider the suffixes. Those suffixes will be replaced by these suffixes, and the actions will be performed here. Okay, in this manner, at each and every step, we will be having a set of rules, and one of the rules can be applied on the word if it is matching with one of these conditions. Okay, if the stem is matching with one of these conditions, and it can go through one of these rules. So in the similar sense, we will be having steps. Okay, step 1B1 rule. Okay, in step 1B, we will be having B1 rules. So these are the conditions on the stem. These will be conditions on your suffixes. If your suffixes are true, this will be replaced by them, and these are the examples. In the similar sense, we will be having 1C rules, step 1C, and step 2 rules, step 3 rules, step 4 rules, step 5 rules, and those are your complete steps. Okay, we are having various steps in your complete algorithm of your Porter's. Okay, so this is how we will be performing the suffix removal or longest possible removals present in a particular term. Okay, based upon this Porter's algorithm. So that is how you can perform the complete set, which might be a complex, but if the implementation part will be very much easier if you are having the implementation by using the automatic stemmers. Okay, so this is about your affix removal. The last part is about experimental evaluation of your stemming algorithms. You are having various stemming algorithms. The implementations part, the stemming algorithms can be performed in a large data sets. So you are having the various stemming algorithms, that is your Porter's algorithm to stem your affix removals or to remove your affix removals, or the previous table lookups, or the other stemming algorithms you are having. So there have been many experimental evaluations of these stemmers. So the experimental evaluations can be summed up in this table like this. So what is the meaning of this table is, so this is a study by Salon, and what is the question we are trying to do is whether a full stemmer is better than the suffix stemmer. Okay, if you try to find out whether the full stemmer is better than the suffix stemmer, and to find out the answer we have taken some data sets, that is IRE3 data set, ADI data set, and Cranfield data set. Okay, and in that we are having 14 dependent values. Okay, and this is the result, that is your full stemmer will be better than your suffix removal stemmer in the particular result. In this manner, we will be having various experimental evaluations to find out which is better based upon some set of questions. Okay, so you can refer this thing. This is the study by the authors, and the question what you are trying to find, and what is the data set we are trying to implement. Okay, what is the data set to find out which is the better one, and what is the thing you are trying to evaluate, whether you are trying to evaluate the recall and precision, and what is the result. Okay, so this is how the experimental evaluation is done, and you can refer the complete set of the table values to find out what is the thing. But to sum up, this is the continuation of the table. To sum up, the conclusion of the complete studies is that stemming can affect your retrieval performance, but studies are equally vocal. Okay, so whenever you perform the stemming process, it will affect your retrieval processes. Okay, most of whatever the studies which have been done, okay, has been univocal on this particular thing. So when you perform the stemming, the retrieval performance will be gradually affected, and it will improve the retrieval performance. Why? Because since a particular word is having so many similar related words, okay, the retrieval will be largely effective. Why? Because we will be getting large number of search results. There is no evidence that stemming will degrade the retrieval effectiveness. Okay, even if you implement the complete stemming process, okay, with whatever the overhead you are having to store these particular words, okay. So even if you perform all this stemming processing, there is no evidence that this will degrade the overall retrieval performance of your information retrieval system. And stemming is as effective as manual conflation. I think you can understand the conflation is of two types. One is manual conflation, another one is automatic conflation. That is what we will be calling it as stemming. Whatever whatever that is you have doing, that is the automatic stemmers are as effective as your manual conflation if you do manually. Okay, these are the conclusion from your experimental studies. You can say that your stemming process is performing much. It is giving you effective retrieval processing, and it will be giving you better recall and precisions. Okay. In the last part, so other experimental evaluations is there is also appears to be little difference between the retrieval effectiveness of different full stemmers. Okay, so little difference between the retrieval effectiveness of your different full stemmers. So the full stemming process, if you perform, there will not be much retrieval effectiveness differentiation. All the full stemmers will be having the same type of retrieval effectiveness, and it will be much better than what you are doing without stemming process. So the next one is the effect of stemming is dependent on the nature of the vocabulary used. Remember, so whenever you want to perform the stemming process, it will depend upon the vocabulary you are using in the particular database. Okay, a specific and homogeneous vocabulary may exhibit different conflation properties than will other types of vocabularies. If you are having a specific vocabulary, that will perform a different type of conflation. If you are having different type of vocabulary, it will be performing different type of conflation. So your stemming process will be largely dependent upon the vocabulary that is present in your database. So if your particular database contains more number of English words, so conflation will not be that much difficult. If your database contains too many number of application dependent words, what you have seen in the previous sessions, if you are having too many application dependent words, finding out the stems will be somewhat difficult. Okay, so whatever the vocabulary you are having as a part of your database will affect your stemming process. Okay, so these are various retrieval effectiveness experimental evaluation parts of your in stemming algorithms. The last part is your stemming to compress your inverted files. Since a stem is usually shorter than the word which it corresponds, storing stems instead of full words can decrease the size of your index files. As you have already seen, so the main purpose of your stemming process is, one is your retrieval effectiveness, the second one is your size, or your compressing the size of your index files. Okay, so you can compress the size of your index files. Why? Because instead of storing the complete words, we will be storing only the stems. Okay, so when I store the stems, we have already seen it will reduce the size of your index by more than 40%. Okay, we have seen in the initial sessions of your stemming algorithms. So it will drastically reduce the size of your index file. Why? Because instead of storing each and every word present in your database, we will be instead of indexing each and every word present in your database, we will be indexing only the stem words. It is obvious from the given below table, we will be showing you a table, that savings in storage using stemming can be substantial. So if you see the table, we can find out that most of your stemmers, so these are the various types of stemmers you are having. So most of the stemmer implementations on various databases will provide this much amount of compression. For example, you have seen the Porter's stemmer. So the Potter stemmer, when applied on the Cransfield data, it will provide a 26.2% reduction in the index file size. Okay. In a similar manner, if I use the Radcol stemmer, and when it applied on the National Physics Laboratory index, okay, the size of the index has been reduced or compressed to 41.8%. Okay, it has been reduced by 41.8%. So you can see that your index file or your inverted indexes you are having as a part of this, those indices can be largely compressed by performing the stemming, where instead of storing the individual words, we will be storing the stems. Those stems only we will be implementing in the index. So this is about your complete stemming algorithms and about how you have been using this stemming to perform the comparison and retrieval effectiveness. In the next session, we will be going for other topics regarding your information retrieval system. Thank you.